It's official. Y'all, Baraka coming out by Shema Shagao Shah. This is the redo. This is the redo. Oh my goodness. No, not my goodness, because there is no goodness that's in me. Let me say it right now. No goodness. All goodness is of the Lord by Shema Shagao Shah. Make sure you all share this out, man. This is the redo video of yesterday's video. Yesterday's video, we were going over the constellations, time frame, seasons, etc. A lot of people really didn't get a chance to see it. We had some technical issues, sound cut out, some other stuff. All right, hang on. No, thank you. All right, no, thank you. So some other stuff. All right. So let's get right into it. Hebrew Astronomy, Everyday Hebrews. This is the redo. This is the remix of yesterday's video. All right. Hebrew Astronomy 101. We're going to look at a few things first. I'm going to play this song. Hey, put a 7 in the room if you can hear me okay. Shalom, I seen you just came in. The water. Put a 7 in the room if you can hear me okay. It would really help me a lot if you would just take time and type the number 7, because this is the audio level that we're going to be playing. All right. So no interruptions. Let's get right into it. Kwam Yasharala Basham Mashak Shah. Pasach Shalom. Let's get right into it. Be about what you say. Joshua Isaac. MYMG. Let's give him a hard cut, a couple thousand more views off of other people's, ministries. And let's get it.
Nothing can stop Judah all the way up. Oh. We all the way up. Israel all the way up. Judah all the way up. E37, we all the way up. Israel, tell me what you need.
Sick of this, man. We're going to get these brews this time. We hunting for these brews that's breaking the commandments, sinning and tricking and all this stuff all day long, man. I'm tired of it. Come, we're going to get them.
Be about what you say, don't say nothing. I wanna see you do what you say, no bluffing. Cause men don't lie, and women lie too. But the only one behind me, oh my God, so true. Just be about what you say, don't say nothing. I wanna see you do what you say, no bluffing. Just be about what you say. Just be about what you say. Don't come around me acting fake.
Be about what you say. Don't come around me acting fake. Frenemies, get out my damn face. Don't gift me with fake smiles. Don't greet me with fake handshake. Just be about what you say. Hey, if you vow, keep it above. If you must, all we got is us. Only in God we trust. It's not enough. Yeah, we forget excuses meaningless to a person when they down and they luck and needing it. When we renege, a friend in word and not in deed. It's not a friend indeed. Prove your friends by their words, know thy enemies. You can have forgiveness, but our friendship ends eventually. Just answer honestly before you falsely promise me.
Be about what you say, don't say nothing. I wanna see you do what you say, no bluffing. Cause men don't lie, and women lie too. But the only one behind me, oh my God, so true. Just be about what you say, don't say nothing. I wanna see you do what you say, no bluffing. Just be about what you say. Just be about what you say. Don't come around me acting fake.
Psalms 89:34. Read.
Psalms chapter 89, verse 34.
The Alistair Crowley mentality gotta be spiritually, literally ripped out your body. Cause every time you let that wickedness drip from your lips, you committing a self-kamikaze. Gun to your own mouth.
Gun to your own mouth.
Bullet to your own brain. Bullet to your own brain. Effortlessly, G, putting your life in jeopardy from the nonsense you say. Sticks and stones don't break no bones, but I beg to differ. See, I read here in the scriptures. Oh, have died by these here lips. Us let us look up Sirach 28:1-8. Tell me, everybody, what does it say? Many have died by the edge of the sword, but not so as many by the tongue, of course. It's a world of enigma. iniquity of its own. Send you straight to hell by the way you work your tone home. Number 30, I'm pretty sure that you heard it earlier. We earnestly promote that you keep every word you speak and be about
what you say, don't say nothing. I wanna see you do what you say, no bluffing. Cause men gon' lie, and women lie too. But the only one behind me, oh my God, so true. Just be about what you say, don't say nothing. I wanna see you do what you say, no bluffing.
My covenant will I not break, nor alter the things.
Stop! My covenant. So whatever comes out of your mouth, that's what you're supposed to do. Which one of these commandments did y'all break? Read!
Nor alter the thing that is going out of my lips.
Nor alter change. That's what it means, bro. I can use both hands, bro. I can use one. And you too.
I got my fringes on though.
Your head is covered. Uncover thy head. Hallelujah. Let's go up. Tell all your boys too. Tell all your boys too. With your dark lit nigga. And remember these commandments.
Just be about what you say. Just be about what you say. Don't come around me acting fake.
Oh, praise y'all by so much. That had to be one of the funniest, fun times that we had shooting a music video. All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Be about what you say, man. Don't come around acting fake, man. Fake promises, fake friendships, fake everything, fake. Yeah, I mean, just go into it. Just don't be fake. Yeah, just don't do it. Don't do it. Some people can't do it. They can't not help it. So you just gotta be patient with them. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. All right. So MYMG, that's a beautiful, beautiful song. Truly one of my favorites, man. Be about what you say. All right. So let's get it. It looks like our sound and everything is up. I want to jump right back into where I left off yesterday. I tried to do this video twice yesterday, and it was a lot of complications. So let's get it done. We got some subtlety, we got some quietness. All right. If it's all good, you can see okay, you put a 7 in the room. All right. I'm gonna try to read really consistently and diligently through. I want you all to be able to see this when you do. Shalom, Ro Brooks 512. Y'all Shemar, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. You might already did, but do it again. You know, send this out to your friends and enemies. Your frenemies. Send this out to your frenemies. All right, I'm about to get into teacher mode, so let me go ahead and put on my suit. Let me put on my suit. All right, I'm gonna put on the suit, and let's read this word. I'm gonna leave it up pretty big so you can see it. All right. Right from the beginning, the purpose and the point of coming to this is to see if we learn, if we take time, if we study, what the Most High told us to do and how His feast days are. Passover is right around the corner for a lot of us. Some people already participate in Passover, and some people, you know, I just can't speak for them. But we know this, that Passover begins at the head of Aries. If you don't learn the constellational signs and how to keep the Shabbat, then you'll just be a polyparrot. You'll just be following after other people, just whatever they do. I mean, it's okay to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to do that, but you also want to have a sense or a gauge for yourself. So that's what we're here to do. We're here to read. All right. Revelations chapter 22. Let's read this. This is Christ, okay? With all these constellational signs that we're seeing, and there's so much, and I'm so disappointed that people aren't looking into it more, because there's so much that's happening in heavenly bodies. Like, you know, it's mind blowing. You know, it's like I use the TV to distract myself from what's happening outside of constellations. Because one, I ain't got nobody to talk to about it with me. All alone on Isle of Patmos make you feel kind of crazy. Like, look at the star. You know what I'm saying? Look at the star. You know, ain't nobody looking at the star. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here with our telescope. And so sound kind of like a crazy person with a tinfoil hat. But the reality of it is that tinfoil hat actually does, you know, tinfoil does have properties to protect you from certain waves. I don't want to go into it. I think I'm gonna start wearing a tinfoil hat, cowboy style. I ain't seen nobody do that yet. I'm gonna make me a cowboy style tinfoil hat. I am the coldest. Yahweh's good. Revelation chapter 22, verse 12. Christ coming. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according as his work shall be. I am Alpha and Omega. We seen yesterday that actually meant I am Oth. I am the first character in Hebrew and the last character in Hebrew. And then when we went to our book called the Aleph Tav Sacred Text, we went to that book. We showed it. We showed where you can purchase that online. It shows you the different places where Yahweh Shai is in the Old Testament under the name Oth, which is the first character in Hebrew, or sometimes we say Wa'ath, Amar, and Oth said. It's like, whoa, I thought everywhere it just said Lord and God, Lord and God. No. So that's why here we see Alpha and Omega, because it's showing us that it's Christ that's in the Old Testament. It's him that's showing us it's him in the Old Testament, which I just think that's super snazzy. You know, we're not taught to look for that, but it's there. Next we see, he says, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. He says the first and the last. There were those first characters Hebrew, those last characters Hebrew. Blessed are they that do this commandment, that they may have a right to the tree of life and may enter through the gates into the city. For without are dogs, for without the city. Now, this is what we're trying to get to. We want to get to the city of Jerusalem. There's a lot of scornful talk about, who will get salvation, who will not get salvation. Let me tell y'all right now, I am working to make sure my election. All right. And we got to remember the scriptures saying a lot of people, it's just like they overlook or haven't read or are just biased to the Bible. The scriptures blatantly tell us that many of the children will be cast out to the outer darkness. We're not supposed to be glorifying just because we're the children of Abraham. The Most High said that he can raise up stones, right? But because of his word, he's keeping us. It's up to us to keep his part. And a part of his part is loving your neighbor as yourself. That includes Gentiles. Some of y'all are really lame, super lame, super lame. Y'all got caught up in the video game doctrine, you know what I'm saying, opposed to sticking true to actually reading the script and the manuscript. Some of y'all just come to class and just sit there opposed to actually reading the manual. This is Christ's words. Now we're trying to get to this city for without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers, murderers, idolaters, and whosoever love it and make it alive. Yahweh Shai have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the roots and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star. And the spirits and the bride say, come. And let him that heareth say, come. And let all that thirst say, come. And look at this. Hebrew Israelites only. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all childish. And I'm not friendly. I'm not friends of that childishness. And whosoever will, let him take the water of life freely. I'm telling everybody that the Most High made a table for his children. We are the Israelites. We refused. And then he said, okay, no worries. You broke my heart. I'm going to call into the other children and I'm going to get them to get my attention. And it's going to make you jealous and it's going to cause me to come back to you. But that's not just the whole narrative. The part of the narrative was, and this is for the unlearned who don't believe in Israelite and Gentiles operating in the mixed multitude under Yahweh, because there's some that don't believe in that. I can't help you. I don't want to help you no more. I just want to be able to speak to those who want to have help. And then if you want to, you can come on over here again. All right. The scriptures right here says, and the spirit and the body say, come, and let him that heareth say. Let him that heareth. Anybody that hears his word. Now, I know it's to the Jew first, then to the Gentile. I know. Let him that heareth say, come. So I'm going to say there, hey, come. Hey, come on. Come. And let him that thirst say, come. But wait a minute. The woman at the well wasn't an Israelite. And let him that thirst say, come. And whosoever will, let him take the water of life freely. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of prophecy of this book. I'm sorry. I love my folks. I love my fam. I love those who love the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. But when I see you speaking against it now, I don't perceive you as one of those who are of my liking. I just don't. It's kind of hard to. All right. Let's finish reading this real quick. Matter of fact, here, let's get back to this. I want to give you a nice little visual while I read. I know some of you like to read the word with us, so you know, so that's wonderful. All right. In 2.5 seconds, we're gonna do some adjustment real quick. All right. Let's go to the beginning. All right. We're gonna go to the very, very beginning. So this morning when the Most High, you know what I'm saying, you put it on my spirit. Actually, I wanted to go a lot earlier. I wasn't able to. All right. When you get a chance, make sure y'all read that. Revelations 22 is where we were just at. All right. You know, we're very familiar with the scriptures. When I say we, I mean I myself. You know, we can't think that Yasha Allah be hollering the scriptures all the time and then the world isn't going to hear it. All right. You got some people that are just totally ducked off in secluded corners. And when they see you, they heard the word and they're like, oh, yeah, I know who you are. I know who I am. All right. So we can't think that people don't know the word. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the Gentiles know the word a lot better than you so-called black Hebrew Israelites. Flat out. You so-called. So you call yourselves black Hebrew Israelites. And I say black. Hey, he's black. That black guy. Black Hebrew Israelites. Gentiles cutting y'all in the spirit. And it's so funny because all they got to do is speak the word. The word will cut everybody deep and wide. All right. So pick up your Bibles, man. Believe in Hamashiach Yahushua, Christ the King and the Savior. Say the same things that he said, and you will never go wrong. All right. You'll never go wrong. All right. So pick up that Revelations 22. Check it out. See what it says. And let's do this real quick. Let's do Wisdom of Solomon. All right. Chapter 7. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 15. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 15. For Allahaya have granted me to speak as I would. God has granted me to speak as I would and to conceive as is meet for the things that are given me. In other words, King Solomon said, I know what I'm talking about because it is he that leadeth unto wisdom and directeth the wise. For in his hand are both we and our words, all wisdom also and knowledge of workmanship. For he hath given me a certain knowledge of things that are, namely, to know how the world was made, and the operation of the elements, and the beginning, ending, and midst of times, and the alteration of the turning of the sun, and changes of the season. Change of the season, the circuits of the years, and the positions of stars, the natures of living creatures, and the furies of wild beasts, the violence of winds, and the reasonings of men, the diversities of plants, and the virtues of roots, and all such things as are either secret or manifest. Look at what King Solomon says. Them I know. So we're going to go from there and we're going to come over to this very friendly book. I want everybody to understand that whenever I'm introducing information, I'm not going off of what I'm freestyling. Somebody has to take time to study these things. And you know what my problem is I'm poor. I'm poor. That's my problem. I'm not poor on information. I'm poor in shekels. I'm poor in position. I'm just this little dude with a can on the island of Patmos looking through a Coke bottle. And I say a little Coke bottle washed up on the shore. You know what I'm saying? No, it's got to be a Sprite bottle because it's got to be clear. All right. I got a little clear Sprite bottle from the 70s washed up on the shore. And I'm just looking through it, looking at the moon at night. But the funny thing about it is when you look at the moon, you can see a lot. You can see our lunar phases. You can see things pass past the moon. Like, what was that? What was that? It wasn't a bird. It wasn't a plane. And then you also find out that people in antiquity times knew about these things too. So we read the early church fathers' writings so we can learn more. Yesterday's video was really hard to get through. And the video before that was even harder to get through. But I'm one of them people that don't quit. That's just my thing. I say stick to the plan. I watch people don't stick to the plan, and I stick to the plan. So let's finish it out. It's not how a thing begins, but how it finishes. All right. We're learning about constellations, astronomy 101 from a Hebrew perspective. For the scripture says, and the evening and the morning were the first day. This is how we know that the day actually begins at sundown. That's the night portion of the day. And you can learn this from another brother named Amos, and he speaks on it really well. We have our differences in our teachings, but he's a good speaker. He's a good teacher. And when the sun goes down, that's when the next day actually begins. But it's not the light portion of the day. It's not the day portion of the day. It's just the yawam. It's the night. I will help you with that. Don't worry. If you think I'm just rambling stuff off, I'm not. It's taking time to study this and to look at this. And look, let me share this with you. I've told, I don't know how many Israelites to get this book. They keep going and buying the damn book of Enoch. They keep buying a paperweight. They keep buying a book that you can't process the book of Enoch. We read it. Yeah, you can process it, but you can't put it together because you have to have extreme. You can put it together. All things are possible by Shema Mashiach Yahushua. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, okay? It's going to take a lot of prayer and fasting and a lot of quiet time and a lot of wisdom and a lot of, we call it liberty for a person to get through the book of Enoch and actually be able to say, this is this, this is this, this is this, this is that. And we can show you in the Bible, precept upon precept. Some stuff you'll be able to because it's just flat out there. But there are other pages in the book of Enoch that are completely weird. Like, where did that come from? 1,000 pages when you only got like 5 pages in the actual Hebrew scrolls of the book of Enoch. So when I refer stuff to people, I like to refer things to people that I know that you can go back and put your hands on. You can say, here's the fathers who did it. This was their mother. This was their wife or their husband. This is their children. Here's the proof. The cosmos and its parts. The human body and portents, animals. The earth and its parts. Mathematics, music, astronomy. So this book is called Pliny. I'm sorry, this is Eusebius. No, it's not Eusebius. Wait, it is Isidore. This is Isidore of Seville's etymologies. We'll come back to this section. But you got to think about it. If you have a book that has all of this information and it's an etymology book that breaks down what the subject matter. If you want to know is what are the ages that Hebrews started having sex? You go right here. You go to book 11, and then you go to this page 231. If you want to learn about people that had dog heads who barked, people. If you want to learn about people who were born with 2 heads, you want to learn about people who are born with 1 eye in the middle of their head. You want to learn about people whose eyeballs are actually born inside out and their skin is, and you want to learn about people whose feet were born with their feet turned backwards. And you want to learn about pygmies and midgets and dwarves. No offense, they're their own social class. They're called portents. And portents are separate from the human beings group, and they're separate from the animals. I'm sorry, I don't know how to explain it to you otherwise than the way you may feel. Human beings, portents, or animals are different categories. And yes, the people that I mentioned are called portents. Did I say midget and dwarf? Yes. Do I think they're sexy? Yes. Do I think that midgets and dwarfs have their own social class, which are called portents? Yes. Because it's in book 11 of Isidore of Seville's etymologies. So what we're going to do here is use this for the cosmos and its parts, the earth and its parts, to help people understand the earth is not flat. All right. And our last section that we're going to use book 3, which is mathematics, music, and astronomy. I encourage everybody to get this, please, so you can help to answer questions for yourself pertaining to what about Leo, what about Virgo, what about constellations? Is it wrong for me to know about the zodiac? So you can answer questions. When is the true new moon spoken of in Psalms? Was that Psalms 83? Blow the trumpet in the new moon in the time appointed. So get this book. If you can't get it right now, hit me up. I'm a public servant, 513-348-5408. All right. You can hit me up and then we can talk about these topics. Look at this right here. Let's go to this page. We got to learn about the moon because in about 4 days, the moon will be full moon. And when she's when she's full moon, this will be the time frame when God delivered Black people out of slavery in Egypt. It's like an anniversary of freedom in Egypt. And at the same time, during this Passover, oh yeah, everybody but the United Snakes said that slave thing that we all work together on that's mentioned about in the Bible? Yeah, it was wrong. I thought that was mentioned about in the book of Psalms too. The nations are confederate, they all came against thee. Esau, Ammon, Moab, Hagarenes. It names off everybody, right? Was it like Psalms 87 or something like that? I don't know. Y'all know it. These same nations that were confederate against us are now all coming together and saying, oops, there's something happening in the sky. The earth is breaking apart. And it's almost Passover. All right. Okay, we had a crash, so my screen. Yeah, I know. Lost video connection. Sound 4 minutes ago. I've been fighting for about 4 minutes to get it back on. So, Salakli Al the water. Greatly appreciate that. All praise y'all. Watch how much I got shot. All right. Let me pull this up. Let's start our screen share. All right. So, the water for that. Appreciate your time and your patience. Let's start our screen share back over. Some technical difficulties. I gotta move into my studio and organize all my stuff and get it set up so I can teach right. And let me see, start a screen share. All right, let's do a new tab, and we're gonna pull right back up where we left off at. Saint John of Damascus, book number 2, chapter 7, Light, Fire, Stars, Luminaries. Now, I am a little bit sad because I had tons of stuff open up top, tons of windows, and they are all gone. They're all gone. I'm so sad about that. All right. So we'll jump right back into it. So I'm going to scroll down to the meat of the matter. Let's go to chapter 7. So what I encourage people to do is, research who you researching, research what you're researching. If it's a historian of the sorts, you know, check him out. Find out what was his stance pertaining to the Messiah. What was his stance, pertaining to, uh, what community did he come from? Was he Essene, Nazarite, et cetera, sorts, Pharisees, Sadducee, what was he? Was he, Ebonite? You know, find out. And what it does was it really helps us to see what their perspective was as they were teaching, right? So I choose to go from the perspective of messianic teachers, and also messianic astrologers, early church fathers who can help show me things that the forefathers looked at. Say, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, what was their perspective and what was their students' perspectives? And that helps keep me on point. So let's get right back into this planets constellations, not commentaries, planet constellations, luminaries. That's what we look for. Here we go, luminaries. All right. So first thing to know is that fourth day, on the fourth day, the Most High Yahweh, through his agency, all right, let me show you. And I got to be careful. Let's share the screen. I think my brain moving faster than my computer. I think I need a teaching computer separate, you know what I'm saying? More quicker. Let's see. Sirach chapter 1, KJV, Ecclesiasticus. Now, why are we going here? Because pretty much everybody knows the same thing uttered in Hebrew and spoken to another tongue have not the same force in them, right? But that's not what we're doing. We're going to pass all of that, right? Spake, no strange language. See, here we go. Books spoke, they have no strange difference when they are spoken in their own language for, see, so so there's that. But a lot of times people don't read down. Here's the question, and it starts off teaching us about wisdom and Christ. So it starts up here, all wisdom coming from the Lord and is with him forever. And then it starts at verse 2. Look again. When you next time you go to your Ecclesiasticus, your Sirach, I want you to use chapter 1, start at the very last line of it, and it introduces you into Christ and wisdom. That's what the whole objective is. Ecclesiasticus chapter 1, yep, all of that's cool. Yep, really cool history. Same things uttered in Hebrew, spoken to another tongue. Yep. But here is a hidden gem that elders don't start with, but they should. So I'd like to. All right. Which I am not an elder. It's an older man. All wisdom coming from the Lord and is with him forever. Who can number the sands of the sea and the drops of rain and the days of eternity? Who can find the height of heaven and the breadth of the earth, or the widthness, or the out, the wideness, right? And deep of what? And deep of, and deep and wisdom. Wisdom hath been created before all things. So when you go to the book of Genesis and it says, in the beginning, Elohim, or Alahayim. Wisdom was one of those powerful principles that was there from the beginning. If you don't know that wisdom is a woman and she's a feminine spirit, then you don't know her. I'll just leave it at that. But she rejoiced and she danced during the creation of the constellations, the earth, moon, universe, all that stuff. Our universe is so big as far as what we don't see. I like to look into stuff like that. It's like, how does this expands and expands, and you have these telescopes that can see so far into space, and it's not CGI. It's actual just big bifocals glasses. So wisdom have been created before all things, and the understanding of prudence from when? From everlasting. The word of God Most High is the fountain of wisdom, and her ways are from everlasting commandments. To whom hath the root of wisdom been revealed, or have known her wise counsels? Hath uh, unto whom hath the knowledge of wisdom been made manifest, and who hath understood her great experiences? There is one wise and greatly to be feared. The Lord sitteth upon his throne. That's dope. He created her and saw her and numbered her and poured her out upon all his works. So when you go into the book of Genesis chapter 1, if you're studying about constellations and space and science, you have to be introduced to wisdom. She was there from the beginning. King Solomon says he knows everything. And it starts talking about the constellations, the circulation, rotation of the stars, and he says, oh, it was wisdom that taught me. She is with all flesh according to his gift. And he hath given her to them that loveth him. The fear of Yahweh, the fear of Allahiyah, is honor and glory and gladness and a crown of rejoicing. So from verse 11, let's stop at verse 11. From verse 1 to 11, all right. Yeah. From verse 1 to 11. It's an introductory, and it's so dope because when you read the 16:11, it might look like this and it'll blend all the way down. But then it'll start at verse 2. That's because verse 1 is at the top. It's within the first paragraph. And it's all an introduction to the Spirit whose name is wisdom, who was there during the creation of everything. So when the Most High said, let there be light, awar is the word that was used. The Spirit of wisdom was there, rejoicing, dancing, making light. When you see the Elohim or the Elohim, the angels, the messengers, the innumerable multitude, let's look at that real quick. Well, let's not. I don't want to jam on my computer and take too much time. The reality of it is this right here. If you go to Sirach, or 2nd Ezra chapter 6, what you will see is you'll see that the Most High, he made this plan. And he said, before any of those fell that once now did right, he said, then did I teach these things. Shalom, Thawada, for letting me know that we got good sound. Thawada, Yahweh Shema like that. I'm not going to play any music with this one this time because I don't want it to go off. And you're a good sister to have, especially, your wisdom. Thawada, I'm just now, I think, finishing up those herbs that you gave me years back. You gave a family, you give them to the family so many times. Thawada, thank you, sister. But I still have those herbs. You know what I'm saying? I'm just now finishing them off. So appreciate. I kept them and took them whenever I moved from house to house, place to place. I took them herbs with me. I kept them in a bag. All of them sealed up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So all the eye bright, all of that stuff. So Dwadi Howard Shemalaka. All right. So the moon. Then let's look at this. The Spirit of wisdom from the beginning. She was there, dancing, rejoicing with the Lord. She was there, and she was in creation. So again, learning about the beginning, we have to deal with her. The moon and the stars and the sun themselves are not lights themselves. And I can hear one wise man or one wise woman saying, but I thought the Lord created a lesser light and greater light to rule the night and the day. Yes, he did. And that's where we find out that the moon and the sun are only called luminaries. They're light bulbs. Inside of the light bulb is where you have the filament and the energy and the power that comes out. The sun is just a vessel for containing light. Let's read. All right. On these luminaries, the Creator bestowed the first great light. You see that? So that's where we go to Genesis chapter 1, where he says, let there be light. The word that's there is awar, A-H-W-A-R, awar, when he says, let there be light. So light was first created. Then after the Most High created light, he created containers to put light in. The sun and the moon are nothing but Tupperware jars. They're more than that. They're greater than that, but they're the Most High's Tupperware jars and mason jars for containing a substance that he made called light. Not because he was in need of other light. He didn't make the sun and the moon because he was needing other light, but rather that light might not remain idle. For a luminary is not merely a light, but a vessel for containing light. There are, we are told, 7 planets among these luminaries that move in a direction opposite to that of heaven, hence the name planets. For while they say the heaven moved from east to west, the planets move from west to east, but the heaven bears the 7 planets along them with the swifter motion. Now these are the names of the 7 planets: Luna, Mercury, Venus, Sol, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. And in each zone of heaven is, as we are told, one of these 7 planets. The first and the highest, Saturn. And the second, Jupiter. And the third, Mars. Yes, we are reading a religious text. We are reading a Hebrew religious text, which teaches us that there are 7 planets like the 7 branches of the menorah. Mars, the third, and the fourth, Sol, and the fifth, Venus, and the sixth, Mercury, and the 7th and lowest, Luna. I'm telling you, if you can just take this and then what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just turn this. What's that? Counterclockwise. Put some little branches on the top of each one of them. You have a menorah. If you take the 7 planets, which were just up, and this was so beautiful, we had a planetary alignment, and a lot of people didn't pay attention to it, but we had a planetary alignment. That's a menorah in the sky that just recently happened. We just, there's so many celestial events happening right now. Comet, what's that? CS 2026. I think it's S, Swan Comet. It's supposed to be coming across the sun within a couple days. And the last time something like that happened in Hebraic text was the destruction of Jerusalem. 70 AD. So all of these things are very important to look at. They're very important to know. I don't want to go down into this part yet, because this is pertaining to which there's nothing wrong with it, but it just shows you, how the sun moves across its courses. If somebody wants to read the book of Enoch, and when the sun talks, when in the book of Enoch, it says how the sun goes through its portals. You just read this book right here. You read this book right here. It's hard to prove it from the Ethiopian version of the book of Enoch, because the Ethiopian version of the book of Enoch doesn't say the same thing that the Hebrew version says. All right. So then it is when the sun makes its, excuse me, I apologize for those that I was reading along. I didn't do that. So then it is when the sun makes its seasons, and through them the year, it likewise makes the days and nights. The days when the sun rises above the earth, and the nights when it sets below the earth. So this is a clear indicator that the earth is not flat. The early church fathers didn't say the sun went around in a circle and it went around, and then when it went around, it was on the other side of the earth, and that's why it was night over there, and then it came back around and it's under a half glass. It don't say that. It don't say that. We live on a sphere. Grow up. The flat earth doctrine is called, here, let me show you. You have astronomy. Astronomy definition. Look at this. Astronomy, the branch of science that deals with celestial objects. All right, let's scroll back up. That deals with celestial objects. All right, Merriam-Webster, Britannica. Let's do that real quick. Right? Boom. What is astronomy? How is astronomy? We got, you know what? I shouldn't even have came here, because the book that we have is better than the Britannica. The book that we're currently reading from is better than the Britannica. I mean, not like that, but you know what I'm saying, it has more older information. So it's more detailed than the Britannica. I know you might raise an eyebrow to that, but go and get Pliny the Elder and Isidorus of those etymologies. What is the definition of zetetic astronomy? I didn't say that. I said zetetic. Not synthetic, zetetic. Zetetic astronomy. There we go. Zetetic astronomy. Zetetic astronomy.
According to Google Books, Zetetic Astronomy, Earth Not a Globe, an experimental inquiry into the true figure of the Earth, proving it a plane, without orbital or axial motion, in the only known material world, its true position in the universe, comparatively recent formation, present chemical condition, and approaching. Author, Parallax.
Yeah, all of that, it was just trying to say that the Earth is flat and it's not a sphere. So this dude, he changed his name a while back to Parallax. He thought that Parallax would be cool. All right, what's his name? Samuel. Yeah, Samuel Rothenbaum. So Samuel Rothenbaum, he was one who really, pushed forward for the flat Earth doctrine. You can't tell me when new moon is. You have no idea when new moon is if you think the Earth is flat. You have no idea because you don't know how the sun and the Earth and the moon actually correlate with each other. So if you think the Earth is flat, here's your elder right here. And what you're practicing is you're practicing zetetic astronomy. Okay? So just wanted to share that with you. No flat earther doctrines. Okay? I accept flat earther converts. I accept Gentiles. But I can't entertain things that aren't true. Like that's like you're dating a man and you thought it was a woman. Like that's a dude, bro. Yeah, I know it's a dude, but what had happened was over time I started to like her. I mean him. I mean her. So now I'm just holding on to that bad relationship. Man, yeah, right. I'm not doing it. I'm not holding on to no bad relationship or lies. All right. The reality of it is the Earth is a sphere. It's not flat. Early church fathers taught us. And it bestows on the other luminaries, both moon and stars, their power for giving light. Furthermore, they say there are in the heaven 12 signs made by the stars, and these move in the opposite direction of the sun and the moon, and other 5 planets, excuse me, that would be 7 altogether. And the 7 planets pass across these 12 signs. Further, the sun makes a complete month in each sign and transverses the 12 signs in the same number of months. These then are the names of the 12 signs and their respective months. All right, give yourself a shout out if you hear your constellation. All right, the Ram, which receives the sun on the 21st of March. Now, here's the thing with this. We have to come here because a part of this is we are looking at Passover. All right. Since we're looking at Passover, let's switch to this screen. I'll try not to open too many screens. I think that's what happened last time I had too many screens open. Antiquities of the Jews, Flavius Josephus, Passover, sun in Aries. All right. So let's go here together. Antiquities of the Jews. This is a lot to share, but you might be able to get it, so I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to copy. Here's the link if you want to see it for yourself. You have people that have done Passover already, and that's their opinion. That's their point. That's their perspective. They can do that. Astronomically, biblically, you got to do it a certain way. So let's look at this real quick. Tell me what you all's opinion is. All right. Put your comments in here on what your opinion is. If you've never heard this before, then cool. Let me be the first one to read it to you. In the month of Xanthicus, which is called by us Nisan, in the beginning of our year on the 14th day of the lunar month, when the sun is in Aries, for in this month it was when we were delivered from bondage under the Egyptians. Now let's stop right there. If you are a Hebrew Israelite, part of a camp, community, congregation, Knesset, church, synagogue, assembly, family, or just a bunch of scruffle butts, huddled up under a bush, trying to keep the holy convocations. If you kept the Passover based off your work schedule, you are wrong. If you kept the Passover based off of what your elder said, even though we are in a different time zone from Jerusalem, we are not that far off. It's the same moon in Jerusalem as it is in California. Okay. It's the same moon. Okay. It's not going to be Passover in this month. And then it's like it takes a whole month because as we just read, all right, the moon transverses, the sun transverses each one of these courses. The moon goes through each one of them in 30 days. So if it's new moon in Jerusalem, I'll tell you an easy way of doing it. Find out where you are. I'm living in Ohio right now temporarily until me and my family goes back home to Jerusalem, where the Most High takes us. But if I want to find out, I would say, what time is it in Jerusalem? Correlate that time to where I am. Boom. Now, I'm not a mathematician, so I'll take it to Google. I'll say, Google, What's today's lunar phase in Jerusalem? And it might be waning crescent. So if it's waning crescent, then I know I'm only a couple hours off. So for those that be like, well, nah, you gotta do it like this on this time, and it's in Jerusalem, and that's true. That's true. I'm not coming against that, but they're not telling you that just because you're a couple, you're a continent away. It doesn't mean that just because you're a continent away, you're gonna be a whole month off. So this is why we read science along with biblical context, so we can read. Listen to this. Shout out to your. Put a 7 in the room if you hear your constellation you was born under. This is not sorcery. This is not witchcraft. Tell your elder to call me, 513-348-5408. If you want to challenge me on this and be like, hey, I already had a brother call me a diviner at times. I don't care. Because he didn't use the context correctly. I was like, boy, you're not good at this. You're just not good. So understanding constellations doesn't make you a diviner at times. Daniel himself is the one who taught the Magi, the went and seen Christ, the born Christ. Well, the Magi were astrologers. They were scientists. The tribe of Issachar, scientists, astrologers. Abraham, scientists, astrologers. Jacob, scientists, astrologers. Everybody but Black Hebrew Israelites are scientists, astrologers. The Ram is the constellation that's called Aries within the zodiac. If you're not sure about it, let me ease your fears. All right, you can find the zodiac in the Bible. So let's do that first. So if I read this to you in the Bible, then you'll be comforted and you won't think I'm reading something off, okay? Job chapter 38, KJV, Blue Letter Bible. All right, yes, we're going to look at the word zodiac in the Bible. All right, why? Because we had not only zodiacs in our synagogues, but the 12 tribe symbols are, also represented within those, okay? So let's go down to Job chapter 38 verse, and look at this, everybody. We're here. Hopefully you can see it. Okay. I'm not going to over explain, which I have a tendency to do. Apparently there's a friend who had no, I ain't gonna say it. Apparently there was somebody got a problem with me because they said I was long-winded. And I was like, well, the Apostle Paul was long-winded. We're not supposed to be dumb and have nothing to say. All right. If we have, the prophet Ezra, he said, I have more to say, but now I am full as the moon. You know what I'm saying? I have more to say. You know what I'm saying? The treasures of the heart, the mouth speaks. So if I study this, that's what I'm going to talk about. So read the book of Acts chapter 20, and you'll see that the Apostle Paul, was it Peter? Yeah, Peter, he was long-winded, and he was teaching, and the young man fell out the window and died while Peter was teaching. They went down and rose him back up, and he got up and continued class. He didn't complain and cut the man off and belittle him. He just came back to life and was quiet. So here's the questions right here. Canst thou bind the sweet influences of Pleiades or loose the bands of Orion? In order for you to understand this, you have to know the narrative behind Pleiades and Orion. All right, so there's a couple different worldwide stories, but let's just stick to the basic one. All right, so Orion and Pleiades are constantly in a battle. All right, so Orion is attempting to take the Pleiades stars constellation, but there is a row of 7 stars that are in front of Pleiades that protects Orion from taking it. All right, so here, let me show you real quick. I said I wasn't going to go too far off, but it's really hard to do that and not show you things. Orion, 7 stars, Pleiades. And I did not say for ladies. I said Pleiades. I didn't say for ladies. Uh-oh. Don't let certain people see that. They're going to be like, look at his. All right, so look at the screen right here. So what you should see is what's called Betelgeuse. You see that? Betelgeuse. Also pronounced Betelgeuse. All right, Betelgeuse. Whenever you look up in the sky, you see 1, 2, 3 stars. You see the belt of Orion at the bottom, the shoulder at the top. And then you're going to see, this is going to be kind of hard to tell, okay? Okay, this is going to be kind of hard to tell. But over here in this section, this is Orion. See it? 1, 2, 3. You see Orion's back leg is bent. He was damaged by Scorpio, so he can't go forward, right? He's facing this direction because he's also trying to hunt for Pleiades, okay? So this right shoulder, which is the star of Betelgeuse, this is the one that the Dogon tribe, Dogon tribe, they knew about Ceres. Ceres A and Ceres B is down here within Orion's belt. So behind Ceres A, you have another planet, which is called Ceres B. All right, and this is where the Dogon people, which, I can't speak what their tribe is. I don't know, the Dogon tribe. I don't know if they're Canaanites, or I don't know if they're Shemitic. So I can't. They might be the tribe of Dan. I don't know. Let's give Israel props and everything, right? Like Freddy Krueger was an Israelite. You know, Michael Myers was a Hebrew before he turned white. Hey, nigga, stop. All right. Cornelius is a Gentile. Okay. All right. Hey, man. So anywho, long story short, so behind Orion's belt, there's a separate star, but this top star, which is called Betelgeuse, it actually flashes brightly. So the next time you get a nice clear light and night light and you want to do some stargazing, you'll say, I'm a stargazer, right? So next time you want to, you go out and you find this belt and you come directly up, you'll see a bright star called Betelgeuse or Betelgeuse. Well, what it does is it flashes bright, it goes off and on, bright, 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 consistent pattern. But across from it, here, constellation Taurus and Pleiades. So past that, now you have on this, let's see, Taurus is, this is Orion over here on this screen, right? So let's see if we can visit this. I don't want to go too far off. All right. But I want people to know things. I like people to know things. All right. So let's share this screen. All right. So this is very important. Yes, it is biblical. You're reading it right here in the book of Job, chapter 38. Okay. This is Pleiades. This is a constellation of 7 stars. Okay. And if you ever go outside and it's right here, it's a constellation. It looks like a Dragon Ball in the sky. So here's the head of Taurus. Okay. So let me give you just a little bit more. I want some background music playing. All right. All right. So here's Pleiades, Aldebaran. All right. Right here. And then you have Betelgeuse right here. So it's a pattern. All right. You have Betelgeuse and Orion is hunting this direction towards Taurus the bull. Now, Taurus the bull is protecting the 7 sisters, which is called the Pleiades. All right. And no, you can't, when you see the scripture, you'd be like, oh, wow, you should get it more. So Aldebaran is protecting with influxes. So when you go out in the night sky, you'll see this star. And I've stood outside and tried to show it to people before, but they couldn't see it at the time. Or maybe I'll be able to do it another time in life or something, man. Or, but I've done it on phones and everything. But this Aldebaran, as you see it, it flashes in different patterns. So Orion is consistent with trying to get through, and it just goes back and forth because you can't get to the sweet influences of Pleiades. All right. So in order to understand Job chapter 38, you have to understand the constellations. Then the Most High so good. Hallelujah. Look, canst thou bind the sweet influence of Pleiades? No, because you can't get past Taurus the bull. Or can you loose the bands of Orion? Can you take off Orion's belt? The Most High put the constellations all in the sky in the story, and then he put in the scriptures, and then Black Hebrew Israelites don't even teach on it. Yes, I'm starting to think people are grossly indoctrinated, and I'm starting to see them different. I had an old friend of mine. He said, once this nigga go back into Christianity, I'm going to be the first one to laugh at him. I said, wow, any friend that waits for you to fall so they can laugh at you is not a true friend. That was an eye-opener for me. I also made the proclamation that, guess what? I've always been a Christian, buddy. Salute. Job chapter 38, verse 32. Canst thou bring forth the Mazzaroth in his season? The what? The Mazzaroth. The what? Mazzaroth. Canst thou bring forth the Mazzaroth in his season? How can I bring forth the Mazzaroth and I don't even know what it is? Canst thou guide Arcturus and his sons? How can I guide Arcturus? Who is Arcturus? Lord, what are you asking me to do? I'm pretty sure I'm going to fail this assignment. I'm standing here with my notes. I got my pen, my paper. I don't know. See, this is a star constellation. This is literally the word zodiac. Can you bring forth the wheel of the zodiac in its time? Can you make Taurus go ahead of Libra? Can you make Libra skip the position of Gemini? No, you can't. So when the Most High is coming on Job, and he's coming down hard on Job. I mean, he's raining from the sky. He's answering Job out of a thunderous tornado. Blah, 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 blah. Can you do this? Can you do this? That is a terrifying thing to ask. No, Lord, I can't do none of that. And it's the same thing for you. You can't do none of these things. The same things that the Most High said to Job, you can't do none of them. Now we're going to start here, but we're going to go back to our Hebrew. Look at this. You pull up Mazzaroth, what's the first thing that comes up? A zodiac wheel. Why? Because the Israelites are supposed to know the constellations. We're supposed to know the zodiacs. Once I knew that this brother called me a diviner at times, I was like, he don't know nothing. All right, my bad. It vexed me so bad because we were in the process of teaching people just like I'm doing now. I don't know why this roadblock of a person thinks they can just stop the ministry, but they can't. So I don't know why this roadblock of a person thinks that, but like we were doing now, we're going into the time frame of Passover, to where I have about 5 days until now. We're already in a time frame where the sun is in the head of Aries. I could go and take you to some constellation website pages and all that stuff, but it's just, I don't want to derail us too much because there's a lot of information. All right, so what we're looking at is the same thing that we see, the similar word Mazalat. All right, but you have Mazarath, which is found in the book of Job, chapter 38, verse 32. All right. And this is how we get into the understanding that Yasharallah knew astronomy. This is one of the ways we get to the understanding that Yasharallah knew astronomy. Now let's go to our blue letter Bible. We're going to open up the word in Ibadiaf, open up the word in Hebrew. All right. See, there's our Masoretic text, which this is the language that Black people used to speak before it was beaten out of us. All right. So our counterpart, our divine prophesied brother Esau, who I love, man, I abhor not an Edomite, man. The Most High told me not to. I'm going to give Edomites water. I'm going to give them bread. I'm going to give them blankets. I'm going to give them food. I'm going to give them candy. I'm going to do all of that stuff. Our counterpart brother, what he did was when he stole our language, our heritage, our nationality, our dress code, what he did was he kept our customs. It's like Israelites forgot. It's like they became so I don't know, congealed with each other. Like they mesh with other stuff, and I don't do that. Once I see something as a faggot, I bang out. You a fag? I'm gone. Not trying to be funny. I use the fag loosely. I'm like, you a faggot? Hey, you a fag? I don't mean you a homosexual because that's a whole nother thing. You know what I'm saying? But like once I see like, oh no, I'm gone because you're not gonna pervert me. You're not gonna pervert me. I'm not gonna do that. All right. Here's our word that we're looking at. The truth is the truth, and it can never be a lie. Once somebody shows you the truth, if you hold on to a lie, you're the problem. Mazarah. 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 There's our body off. All right. Look at this. The KJV translates strong H42:16 in the following manner. Mazarah. Mazarah. The 12 signs of the zodiac in their 36 associated constellations, right there in the book of Job. So when we read historical documents like the early church fathers, and we're explaining to people, call out your sign. All right, put a 7 if you hear your sign. The ram, that's the sign of Aries. The ram does what? The ram receives the sun on the 21st of March. Does that hold any significance? Is that important at all? Absolutely it is. Absolutely it does. Why? Because according to Uncle Josephus, in the month of Xanthicus, which is called by us the Nisan, in the beginning of our year, on the 14th day of the lunar month, when the sun is in Aries. See that? So the sun actually in Aries, the constellation, meets up. And if you don't know what that looks like, here, let me show you. I got to be careful because I don't want to open too many windows, but it's very important for you to be able to see things. Now, if you've seen this in the sky, it would be pretty freaky, right? A huge guy fighting a bull, and the bull has 7 glittering sisters behind it that it's trying to protect, right? That would be pretty freaky. All right. Here, let's get this real quick. And let's close this one down. We're going to come to this window instead. Constellational description of sun matching with Aries, March 2026. All right. So you got to be careful because no, we don't want to get into horoscopes, and those things are there. It's like, it's the wheat with the tares. So you can't really you can't pull apart what they put together, but you can differentiate between the two. You know what I'm saying? You can differentiate between the images. All right. So let me see if I can zone out. I should take out constellation. All right. Nope, and I should also put SUN. All right. And I should say images instead of description because it's giving us words. Sun matching up. Try this one. All right. And it's a whole bunch of zodiacs. That's not what we want. We want, I know what I want. I know what I want, and I want to be able to show you. Look, I mean, that's pretty cool. All right, but that's not what I want. So what I want to show you is in the sky what the zodiac looks like whenever Aries is facing the sun. All right, but all of these images are not helpful. They're not fruitful. I mean, they are, but they're not ones that I would personally use. You know what I'm saying, to show you something. So again, Mazzaroth, 12 signs, zodiac. Why is it important? Because we see that at the head of the year, that this is when the Most High brought the children of Israel out of Egypt. It was when, and if you don't know this, write them down. Look, Xanthicus. All right, that's the name of a month. Nisan, we call this the name of our month, right? And then here's the name day, lunar month. But listen, when the sun is in Aries, for in this month, the month that we are currently in, you got to think about it. Right now, frogs was falling from the sky. Right now, people had boils and lice. Right now, there was bugs coming out of people's eyeballs and out of their ears and out of their tutu and hoo-hoos and ha-ha. If you had a wet spot, you had bugs coming out of it. If you was a brother and you were your eyeballs, you had gnats coming out of them if you weren't in the Most High's covenant in Egypt at this time. You was drinking blood with a sick belly. Imagine that, having to drink water, that's blood. Then you drink the blood and you got tadpoles inside your belly dancing around in the blood. And that's what you're peeing, doodling, coming out your eyeballs, just blood. Egypt was terrible during this time frame. It was terrible. So this is the same time. This is the anniversary. Same time last year. You know how they say, remember 9/11? Listen, y'all, same time last year. Hey, everybody. This is the time frame of the last plague. Think about that. The death of what? The death of the firstborn sons. This is that time frame when the Most High killed off people. We're only a couple days away before when he said, put the blood over the doorpost. We're only a couple days away. And if you did it already, guess what? The sun wasn't in Aries, buddy. Your camp leader, no offense, maybe because of they're going off of it, but I know I'm right. I looked at the waxing crescent, and when I seen it, the moon was clearly visible because well, you're not supposed to do it when the moon is visible. You're supposed to do it when you can't see the moon. That's called interlunium. That's called new moon. All right. Now remember, we're still on constellations, astronomy, and science 101. If you have a question, ask it. Maybe I can pull it up from one of these books. All right. Because that's what we're doing. We're doing books. All right. So just to prove to you that new moon, while I have your attention for a split second. Now, if you bang out, that's cool. All right. But for those who stay behind, we'll be having juice and them double stack cookies. And the juice is going to be in styrofoam cups. Okay. You can have as many of those as you want. All right. Stay behind. We're having juice and cookies. Okay. And then sandwich bags too. Y'all can even take the sandwich bags home. Isidore Seville's etymologies. Isidore Seville etymologies. You should be able to see this page. I told everybody was going to come here earlier. I also showed you how to find it. Here's the link if you want to get in or use it yourself. You do not have to go and buy this book if you don't want to, but I encourage you, do not buy the book of Enoch before you buy this book. I'm going to come over here to the stream and I'm going to sell it, share it over here. The scripture says, buy the truth and sell it not. So I'm going to share it, give it to you. Boom. Once you see it, you'll be able to look it up. You know, you're like, oh, yeah, well, that makes sense. If you want to have some good debate and arguing points that people can't really cut you on, but you can cut them all day, get this book. Because then they won't be arguing with you. They'll be arguing with the early church fathers. They'll be arguing with the students of Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Peter, Paul. They'll be arguing with the elders. And if the Zequanium tell you that new moon is when the moon is dark, and somebody else comes along and they might be popular, they might have nice clickbait, they might be light skinned because you know them light skinned niggas, you know, they get all the groupies. The light skinned niggas get all the camp teachers. Them light skinned, I'm just messing. I really don't care. I'm just throwing light skin out there because people be hating. They be like, you light skinned niggas. Hate niggas. You hate me. Goodness gracious. I heard the Israelite hate on another. He said, you light skinned niggas. I said, oh my God. I said, happy Passover. He said, these dark skinned niggas. Look at this, man. In the month of Xanthicus, which is called by us Nisan, and is in the beginning of our year, in the 14th day of the month. In the 14th day of the month. Listen, actually, elder, don't get mad at me. In the 14th day of the month, when the moon is in Aries, for in this month it was when we were delivered from bondage under the Egyptians. The law ordains us that we should every year slay that sacrifice. Salute to the Torah twins, which I before told you we slew when we came out of Egypt. That's another thing. Please don't let nobody be like, you can't do Passover in, we can, listen, the first Passover was held in Egypt. Let's make that clear. It was held in our houses in Egypt. It was people dying outside right now, bugs flying out of their butts. Not joking. Now, I like the book of Jasher. I like the book of Enoch, Hebrew version, Ethiopian version, but you know, I like Flavius Josephus. And I also like to read what happened during the time of the plagues. Right now, we have fireballs falling from the sky. I don't care about if a woman or if a man is tripping against, I don't care. Last time we seen fireballs falling from the sky was Sodom and Gomorrah. Can you imagine the news report? Hebrew Israelite dies while doing live. Fireball falls from the sky and lands on his house. They gonna be like, that was judgment from the Lord. I knew that nigga was wicked. The Most High killed him with a fireball while he was prophesying about it. But the scriptures also say that the righteous are taken away for the times of evil to come, and no man take it in the heart. Ay, Dios mío. So that means other people have to live through it. The point of saying such as to say, the Most High is sending the same plagues of America around the world that he sent on Egypt. Y'all niggas is blind. You don't see fire falling from the sky. You think it just happened over in Cleveland. It's a worldwide event. That's just one. Johnny is home, like knocking at the door with an axe. We have never seen this in the time frame of our lives. I don't care what your elder is talking about. Happy Passover and welcome to the book of Revelations time frame, Astronomy 101. The law ordained us that we should every year slay that sacrifice. Salute to the Torah twins, which I before told you we slew when we came out of Egypt, and which was called the Passover. So we do celebrate this Passover in companies, leaving nothing of what we sacrifice till the following. And then you got wicked niggas talking about they're going to keep the Passover by themselves. I rebuke you by Sham Hamashiach Hawashai, because what you're going to do is teach somebody else to be wicked. Niggas talking about keeping the Day of Atonement, then all these holy, most I call them holy convocations. You know what, brother? I'm just going to be by myself in my own little corner, off of my own little worlds and off my own little. And I've heard women say this for years, but to hear men say it is appalling. It's appalling. Downright effeminate to hear men say that they're not going to keep the Passover in a collection with other men, but they're going to keep it by themselves. You better go and find you a hobo. You better go find you one of your own nationality, like was done in the book of Tobit. Oh man, this is crazy. This is crazy. I don't know what to say. It's real zesty in Israel right now. So we see that the ram receives the sun on the 21st of March. Shout out to all the Aries. The bull on the 23rd of April. Taurus in the building, baby. The twins, Torah twins. Pollux and Castor. That's the name of the twins. Pollux and Castor in the sky. Torah twins. You know what I'm saying? That's not their names, but you know what I'm saying? If they wanted to, that'd be dope. But if I ever have twins, I'm going to name them Pollux and Castor. Pollux and Castor Yasharallah. All right. If the Lord give me twins, Pollux and Castor Yasharallah, and I'm going to point up to the sky and I'm going to show them I'm going to show them the constellation of the twins. Well, the twins constellation comes around on the 24th of May. Now, here's the crazy part. Between April 23rd and May the 24th, you can be either born on one of these two signs. You can be either born on Taurus the Bull or Gemini the Twins. Well, I was born May the 21st, fourth day of the week, so-called Wednesday, 8 p.m. All praise, my mother didn't stop pushing. Hallelujah. Tawada Amma. Point of saying such as to say, on that day, I was born in between two signs. It's called CUSP. It's called cusp. And even some of you maybe were born on the cusp, which just means you were born between two signs. That's all that means. You was born between the cusp. You were born between two signs. All right. I'm going to play this real quick, give y'all some visuals while I go through reading and politicking. All right. So I have up Bible AI Saga. All right. I want y'all, I don't own the rights to none of this. Super cool. Bible AI Saga is where it's at. You know, salute to the family. They make it real Yasharallah for us. All right. They make it real Yasharallah for us. So hallelujah. That's a great honor. All right. So let's get back to this real quick. Mazaroth, we see what that is. Job chapter 38. All right. We see in our book, Isidore of Seville's etymologies. All right. I'm going to scroll down. Oh, my bad. I said I was going to leave that. My bad. Let me go back to that. In our book, etymologies, what we have is the breakdown of, I mean, if you can think of it, you know what I mean, it's pretty much, I ain't gonna say it's all here, but a lot is here. Okay, let's go ahead and navigate through. All right, Isidore Seville's etymologies, and here are our sections. We're gonna go to section 3, which is, as you can see it right here on the screen, it says mathematics, music, and astronomy. So let's go to mathematics, music, and astronomy. As you can see, mathematics is called Mathematica. So if you are, or if you're a person and you got skills with that number game, you know, the Most High bless you. You know, the Most High bless you, the Most High has blessed you. And what we want to do is encourage people to look at this new, you know, this numerology. So what you can start to do is seeing for yourself, like, okay, this stuff does line up. Like, numbers aren't really my thing. I say that. I probably should stop saying that. But numbers really aren't my thing. But to be able to go through and say, wow, that makes sense because I can see it in history. I can see it in science. I can see it in earth and observation. You know, the waxing crescent or Israelites, they'd be like, I'll go out and look at the moon and I can tell. Well, you can look at the moon and tell, but you can also calculate it ahead of time. All right, so we're going to scroll down. If you see anything that sticks out to you, you know what I'm saying, I'm pretty sure you'll like it. All right, the first division, even, odds. So this is all on mathematics, okay? All right, mathematics, and you have to get to astronomy. So that's geometry, geometrical figures. All right. Now, this section right here is music. Why is music in here? Because music is mathematics. Music is astronomy also. Music, mathematics, astronomy, they all go together. Arithmetic, they fall into the category of arithmetic. Now, look at this real quick. I pray that you're watching. If you are, then let me copy, paste, highlight this so you can have this page for later because you are going to enjoy it for yourself. If you can't read, you can always listen. Okay, if you can't read, you can always listen to a book. Y'all see that thing scrolling down at the bottom too. If y'all want to, man, give me a cup of coffee, man. You know, I got like 2 car doors, man, and one of them is made out of Legos, man. You feel me? I got 3 windows. One of them roll up, and the other one is literally, I got duct tape, and I just put a whole bunch of duct tape together. And I made it like a shield. So I just stick the whole duct tape window up, and I take it off on nice days. Okay. So, and then I put paper clips on the end of it so it don't fall off, okay? Right there, your pod creations, you can send something to Cash App or you can send to my phone number, Zelle, 513-348-5408, all right? The scripture says, freely you receive, freely you are to give. So I love giving freely. If you want to give me a cup of coffee, maybe we'll meet up one day. You know, I can share with you some of my cannabis drink one day. I can give you some aphrodisiac drink. Maybe we'll see each other on the Passover, brother, sister. But yeah, hit me up, man. Show some love back to the ministry, man. All right. I'm asking you. All right. You have not because you ask not. And I'm begging. Baba Kusha. Please. Alms for the poor. How about this? I trade you. I'll read to you. You give me a quarter. Give me a quarter and I'll read for you. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you. Give me a quarter and I'll read for you. I'm going to read for you about astronomy. You ready? The name astronomy, distronomy. Astronomy is the law of the stars, which by investigation, reasoning touches the courses of the constellation and the figures and positions of the stars relative to each other and to the earth. Inventors of astronomy. The Egyptians were the first to discover astronomy. However, the Chaldeans were the first to teach astrology. The observations concerning nativities. But the author, Josephus, if you got your favorite Josephus, put a 7 in the room. Flavius Josephus in the building. If you read your Josephus and pat yourself on the back, you're doing better than the imposters who are only around pretending and they're not really doing. It's not about who won't do, it's about who will do. But the author Josephus asserts that Abraham instructed the Egyptians in astrology. The Greeks say that this art was earlier conceived by Atlas, and that is why he was said to have held up the sky. Yet, whoever its inventor was, he was stirred up by the movement of the heavens and prompted by the reasonings of his mind and the thoughts of changings of seasons through the mixed and defined courses of the stars, through the measurements of the expanses and their distance apart. He made observations of certain dimensions and numbers and, by defining and discerning these things and weaving them into a solar system, he invented astrology. Astronomical reckoning. These several kinds of astronomical reckoning, indeed, it defines that the world is, that the heavens are, what is the position and the courses of the, this is my favorite word, and the course of the sphere. I love reading this to flat earthers. Flat earthers be like, well, why is it that I was on the airplane and I can see the moon reflection on the water? I'll be like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Well, why is it that if you go to Antarctica, you can't buy any lollipops? I'll be like, I don't know, bro. Maybe the earth is flat, bro. I don't know. I don't even listen to them no more. I read books. I'll read a book to you for a quarter. There are several kinds of astronomical reckonings. Indeed, it defines what the world is, what the heavens are, what the positions and the courses of the sphere, what is the axis of its heavens and the poles, what are the zones of heaven. So now we're looking at the atmosphere and the firmament. Whenever people talk about the firmament, they talk about the crystalline firmament. They don't know what they're talking about. They're giving you something that they've been visually programmed from because they watch TikTok and Instagram videos over and over and think they got the answers, and they never investigated the correct books. Flat Earth teaching is called zetetic astronomy. It's not true astronomy. This is true astronomy. What are the courses of the sun and the moon and the stars and so on? Watch this. The mundo es unus nomine. The world and its name. Mundus is that which consists of the heavens, the earth, the seas, and all of its stars. The world is so named because it is always in motion. I had a Negro call me with his chin all stuck out like he was Batman. He had his chin all in my face. Brother, you trying to tell me that you're going to think the earth is a sphere, the earth is really flat? I'm like, bro, tuck your chin in, give yourself an emotional moment. You trying to tell me that we're moving on the ball? And the ball is moving 1,000 miles an hour. We're spinning. I don't feel like I'm going anywhere, brother. Oh, see my championship belt. Oh, I'm like, I don't care about your championship belt. Yes, the earth is a sphere and mundus. It's unus numine. We are in motion. We are on a sphere that is in motion. I can't get around their conversation because that's what I told one brother. I said, I can't take you seriously because you play too much. Let's read a book. And all of the stars, the world is so named because it is always in motion. If anybody would go and look up the word earth, they would find out the word earth is also related to its shape. For no rest is granted to its elements, the shape of the world, the forma mundi. The shape of the world is shown in this way. Just as the world is raised up towards the northern region, so it declines down towards the south. That's called a sphere. If your elder is walking around Israel talking about the earth is flat, he got that doctrine with a quarter and a turn of a knob and a bubble that came out of a machine. He took the bubble off and he read the paper and said, oh, it is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth. This is all important. It's all relevant because if you see and you know the circle of the earth, the size, the shape of the moon, the shape of the sun, then you'll know how to not only track new moon, but nobody will be able to deceive you when it comes to calculating your own time frames. And when it comes to Passover, people won't have you doing Passover in the daggone winter. Passover in the winter, and they're like, well, yeah, it's just cold over here, but it's really hot over in Jerusalem. No, nigga, it's cold in Jerusalem too right now. It's not one element over here and another element. No, it's not like that, buddy. It's summer over there. It's spring over here. It's spring over there. Okay? Abuab Abib. So if anybody had y'all doing Passover last like couple months, just next year, if we have a next year, just use this or go back and look at it yourself or read the books. You don't even got to be like, I learned this. Nah, you can be like, yeah, I came up with this myself. You take all credit. I don't care. Here's the shape of the world. It's a perfect sphere, the northern region going up, and so it declines region towards, excuse me, let me read that again and take some of the zeal out of my voice. All right, let me take some of the zeal out of my voice. All right. Just as the world is raised up toward the northern region, so it declines towards the south. Its head and its face, as it were, is in the eastern region, and its furthest part is the northern region. It just described a perfect sphere. This book is Isidore of Seville's etymology. Isidore's teacher was Pliny the Elder. Oh my goodness. Pliny died during the volcano. What? What volcano? You mean the volcano of Pompeii that happened after the destruction of Jerusalem? Oh, my Dio. Why? Why do these people not read? Because it's more entertaining to argue. It's more, you get more clicks and views if I put up a picture, change the title, but I don't get, but truth is the medicine. The name, the sky and its name. Now, from here, this is where we start learning about the atmosphere, the ozone layer. We learn about what's called the firmament. It sits a lot of the vaults of heaven. If you're curious about the vaults of heaven, if you ever read it from the book of Enoch, this is where you can find it. All right. All right. So this is the deconvexus. All right. Or the vaults. Look at this. The vaults of the heaven are its edges. I'll be hearing people talking because they read a couple passages from the book of Enoch and they yell, the vaults of heaven. And I'm like, golly, bro, you have no idea what you're talking about. I just chew my licorice root, drink my little cannabis drink, stare at them. Like, uh-huh. And then what? Uh-huh. Oh, really? Uh-huh. And then what? What did the vaults of heaven do? Uh-huh. And then you made a deposit? Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, okay. Nah, okay. That's a different vault. That's a different vault. You're talking about a different vault, brother. The vaults of the heaven, deconvexus. The vaults of the heavens are its edges, so called from their what? from their curvature, as is this line sources. As is this line, sources undefined. So the earth is a sphere. We have curvature. The vaults of heaven, which you find in the book of Enoch, actually proves that the earth is a sphere. We can just keep going. For vault is curved. As often as the humid night encloses the vaulted, for the vault is curved as the word converses or upside down and sloping downward and bent in the manner of a circle. Listen, I'm done with the flat earth topic for right now. Let's get to this next part. If you want to read the book of Enoch, that's why I told people, get this book before you get the book of Enoch. Before you go and buy an Ethiopian translated version from the language of Ge'ez that none of you Negroes speak. I ain't heard no Hebrew come to me and say Shalom and Ge'ez or Ge'ez, and they want to try to teach me. Let me replace that. Shashimar Kumar, excuse me, maybe Parazah, maybe Zaquan Karat Za'ala, most I bless his memory. I haven't heard none of them read from Ge'ez or Ge'ez and want to treat or try to teach from a book that they can't even prove. Poor scholarship with flashy clickbaits. I can't do it. I'd rather be an impoverished person with truth than be a wealthy person with lies. Because all of that's going to crumble. Over time, my truth is going to stand. Over time, my truth is going to be small mounds that build into a monument that my mashpachah will stand on. I let everybody have it. I'm out of everybody's way. I stay in my own lane because I know it's safe right here. Watch this. The hemispheres. The hemispherialis. I didn't pronounce that correctly. A hemisphere, look at this. A hemisphere is a half part of a sphere. Ah! Boy, that almost made my heart hurt. Lord, my heart hurts, Lord. They think the earth is flat. Lord. Hemisphere is that is above the earth. Hemisphere is that above the earth is all that, excuse me, let me read that again. Hemisphere that is above the earth is all that part of the sky that is seen by us. The hemisphere under the earth is the part that cannot be seen as long as it is under the earth. Oh Lord, they think the earth is flat. I can't smell. I can't smell no more. They talking about the earth is flat and they elders. It hurts. It hurts my comprehension bone. So we can go through the circles of heaven. So the 7 circles of heaven are at top, but let's not do that. Let's stick to Job chapter 38. The circle of the zodiac, all right? The circle of the zodiac consists of the 5 angles made from lines and one line. I don't know how to self-explain that, but more than it's the circle of the zodiac. I mean, if I go more into it, I might not sound intelligent. I might not already sound intelligent to you. I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Go watch a TikTok. Go watch Instagram. Okay. Go watch a 5-second video. I don't do that. I'm not a 5-minute man. I'm not a 5-second man. I never have been. I'm long in speech and I'm long in everything else. The moon and the size. I had a brother tell me, no way, the sun can't be bigger than the moon. How is it? It's right there. Well, you're looking at a difference. You're looking at a difference in the phrase escapes me at the time. You're looking at a difference of the dimensions based off of its relativity to its distance. All right. So it looks small because it's so far away, but the sun has been proven to be greatly larger. Okay. Let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit more. You want to get all Hebrew elders. If you're a poly man, never counsel with a monogamous man. He will help destroy you and your family, your children. Then he'll do it with his wife on his shoulder, behind him in his ear, like, you did good, husband. Never listen to a person that never counsel with a coward in matters of war. And if a person don't believe if a person doesn't believe that the earth is a sphere, then don't talk to them about new moon. Don't talk to them about the whole constellation. If they don't believe that the earth is a sphere, you'd be better off talking to a person from the Dogon tribe. Now, if you're not familiar with the Dogon tribe, you may be. I don't want to be the person that just like overload you and blow you up, but I like people to know things. All right. Now, let's do this real quick. I'm gonna try to get out of this. All right. Sirach chapter, not Sirach, but it's called Deuteronomy 29:29. Right? Deuteronomy chapter 29, verse 29. Dogon tribe, Syriasar. I said that all the way wrong. All right, let me see. Let me bring y'all over here so y'all can look with me. All right. Now check this out. I'm gonna pause this real quick. Just for a second. And I'm gonna play this audio. Facebook, YouTube. I don't own no rights to nothing. I don't own nothing. I got 2 pair of drawers and one of them is old. All right. And the ones that I got that's new, that I borrowed them from somebody else. So don't take my one little pair of drawers, Facebook. Stop acting like some haters, YouTube. All right. I got Israelite international haters. All right. I'm cool. Now listen, I don't want to play these videos because these are super stupid, ugly to me, and I can't stand the over exaggeration of all the Hamite confusion. They would try to make it look like we're a part of this. We are not. We are the children of Israel. They drink blood out of goats' necks and doo-doo out of the cow's butt. We don't do that. All right. So what we will do though is we'll find a short clip. All right. I can't get past the mask. I can't. They always make them look like just, I guess what they are. Let's see. I want to find a short video. All right, there we go. Let's find a short one and one that doesn't have all the Shaka Zulu / essence to it. Now, this is a documentary that was made in 1979. Let's do that one. You can't get around it, man. They are Shaka Zulu'd out, man. Yeah, let's see if we can get some audio on this board real quick. All right, let's see.
About the Sirius star, but we Dogon people, we think our history is related and linked with the Sirius star, because in our mythology we still think that we come from the sky through the Sirius star. We have been guided on the earth by the Sigitoro, which you guys call Sirius. We don't call that Sirius, but we call Sigitoro.
We're gonna get that. Sigitoro looks like Sagittarius to me. Sigitoro. All right, Sigitoro. Yeah, it looks like Sagittarius, or it might be the bull. I'm seeing Toro in there. All right, let's see if we can pull this up real quick. So, let's see. I don't think I spelled that right. Sigitoro. Let me see. No, representation. No, I didn't spell that right. Tell me out, somebody. How did that man say that? He said Sigitoro. I spelled it incorrectly all the way. All right. How did he spell that? Sigitoro. Where's that video? All right. Let's get back to that. So it's spelled, for if you want to look it up, it's S-I-G, Sigi, S-I-G-I-T-T-O-R-O. All right. S-I-G-I-T-T, S-I-G-I-T-T, T-T, T-T-O-R-O, Sigi. I told you. I knew it. Sigitoro. It's Sagittarius. Sagittarius, Sigitoro. I'm not seeing anything on it from that right there, but that's what popped up to me. Sagittarius. Now, here's what's crazy about this. Let me make sure I got the right phrase. S-I-G-I-T-T-O-R-O. S-I-G-I-T-T-O-R-O. S-I-G-I-T-T. S-I-G-I-T-T-O-R-O. Sigitoro's got to be Sagittarius. All right. Sigitoro. Yeah, Sagittarius. All right. So Sigitoro Sagittarius. So whatever tribe that this other man is from, of course, he's saying that where they say, and that's what I said earlier, the Dogon. Wow, that's beautiful. Let's just Sigitoro. Okay, so he must have been okay. I don't know which tribe. That's Canaanite Wars. I don't know. Hamite Wars official. All right, so let me switch to this one real quick. I want to find one. Now, I've heard this narrative. All right, I want you all to hear this narrative.
Is revealed and passes from generation to generation. A circle within a circle depicts Saturn and its rings, which can only be seen with a telescope. A large circle and 4 satellites. The planet Jupiter and its moons.
All right, so if you all are peeping this is a documentary from 1979 showing that the Dogon people, that they understood what we are currently reading to you now. Okay, so I'm not coming against the Dogon. I'm not talking funny about them right now, none of stuff like that. But but what they're doing is they're breaking down the fact that they had constellational knowledge of what's past our past our stars, even without telescopes.
Is visible from the Earth.
Yeah.
It was not until this century that Western astronomers began to suspect its existence.
So now let's go back to our Sapari. Let's go back to our book. All right. Let's go to he created and saw her. Let's go back to our Sapari. And let's read. All right. Now look at this. Isidore Seville's etymologies, right? Look at this. The dog star, which is also called Ceres, is at the center of the sky during the summer months when the sun ascends it, and it is in conjunction with the sun, and it is in conjunction with the sun. The sun's heat is doubled, and bodies are affected by the heat and are weakened. Hence, also the dog days are named from this star. When harmful, when purgings are harmful, it is called the dog or the canis. All right, I want to show y'all this, but I kind of don't want to I don't want to go away from where we are. But what we're showing you and what we're learning is that during certain constellation lineups, which are cusimis, during certain cusimis, the Earth is affected. People are affected. The sun is intensified, right? The sun is intensified whenever other planets or constellations line up with it. It's a whole soup kitchen up there. There's all kind of stuff that's going on up there, and people just generally, we don't know about it. All right. But let's read this real quick. This is one of the two that I want to read about my, specific ones. We started with Passover, the ram horns, right? So watch this. All right. Hence, the first sign through which is also, the first sign through which, as also through Libra, people draw the middle line of the cosmos, they have named Aries, i.e., the ram, on the account of Ammon Jupiter, because those who made the idols fashioned the horns of rams on his head. The pagans placed the first sign amongst their signs because they say that the sun travels in this sign in the month of March. Wow. This is the beginning of the year. But they likewise place Taurus amongst the constellations, and this one also is in honor of Jupiter, because according to myth, he was changed into a bull when he carried off Europa. All right. And they set Castor and Pollux after their death amongst the most noteworthy constellations. They call this sign Gemini. The name Cancer, likewise, because when the sun reaches this sign in the month of June, it moves backward in the manner of a crab. That's hard. And makes the day shorter. This animal has no definite forepart, but heads to either side. On the forefront part becomes the back, and the back becomes the front. Hercules killed an enormous lion in Greece and set it among the 12 signs as a mark of his own valor. When the sun reaches this sign, It gives excessive heat, winds. Let me go back up. It gives excessive heat to the world and causes the annual Estian winds. They located the sign Virgo. Okay, Virgo's in the building. Ooh. They located the sign Virgo amongst the constellation because on the days when the sun runs through it, the earth is parched by the heat of the sun and bears nothing for this in the season of the dog days. They named Libra, Scorpio, etc., going down in the such. I know you, I'm sorry I didn't read your constellation, but if you got one in there, shout out to you. If you would like to read more, just hit me up. I'll read it to you, or you can read it for yourself. That's Isidore Seville's etymologies. Although these pagan sages were not devoted to heavenly wisdom, nevertheless, they rightly struck down the errors by their witnesses to truth. But clearly, that order of the seven circular disciplines was taken by the philosophers as far as the stars. But they might draw, so that they might draw minds tangled in secular wisdom away from earthly matters and set them in contemplation of what is above. All right. So this is one of my stances whenever I come to, talking about people about the constellations. Like, yeah, there may have been people who use it for bad, but the Most High, He has His purposes for this. All right. So don't get mixed and knocked up, around, with the ones that's doing wickedly, because you have church fathers, and then you also have philosophers. All right. So look, we have a few that are right here. All right. So I'm gonna read this real quick. Tell me what you think. Not only those learned in Christian religion, but also Plato, Aristotle, and others among the pagans were moved by the truth of things to agree in condemning uh, this in their judgment, saying that in confusion of matters was generated by such a belief. For if humans are forced towards various acts by the compulsion of their nativity, then why should the good deserve praise? And why should the wicked reap up the punishment of law? Right? So that's a philosophical question for you. All right. If you're put in that situation, you're gonna be, what is it called? Conditioned. You're gonna be conditioned to do whatever suitable, and so uh but overall, if you learn better, you're going to follow that better way. Okay. So it's not held against some of the early church fathers that what they actually did was, they were speaking on these things as if they were deities and such. But once they repented, you don't hold their repentance against them. All right. And then it's the same for you. It's the same for you to learn and do over. All right. I need to take a break. A short video is best. All right. This is what I got to do all day. I'm gonna take a break. I'm flushing my system. Today I'm drinking Epsom salt. I've been drinking Epsom salt all day. So for those of you who don't know, if you drink Epsom salt and water, Epsom salt and apple juice, Epsom salt and prune juice, your body will naturally flush. Right? Yes, learn, do better. All praise, y'all. Hallelujah. Let go, Virgo. Hallelujah. Virgo in the building. All praise. So your body will naturally flush. So that's what I'm doing. I'm healing myself. I'm flushing myself. Astronomy 101. I think I'm gonna stay on this topic for a while because I don't want to keep changing my tabs back and forth. And I got so much that I want to read that I kind of don't want to change it. All right. So hopefully you learned something, seen something different. All right. I don't think on the next video I'll be going over zodiac or astronomy, but this one was a good one to do it on. We can move to the next one. All right. With that being said, most I bless you all. Keep you all. Make His face to shine upon you all. All right. And prayerfully, hopefully you would have seen or heard or learned something different, with this understanding. All right. Let's see. I got one more video clip that I want to share, and it's on the same subject, but I don't want to overdo it. This is a good place to rest at. All right. Ya Baraka Kamiyao, Basham Mashiach Yahushai, Barakatum Shalom.
Is essentially out of nuclear fuel. It's a dead star. We know from modern calculations that it has a very, very high density, has a density about 5 million times that of water. And if you were to be on the surface of Sirius B right now, We'd be crushed very, very flat because the surface gravity is about 100 million times that of the Earth.
The symbol is explained. The knowledge preserved in rituals through the centuries has been confirmed. Beyond the Dogon knowledge of the dark star, the symbols reveal more information about the celestial universe. They correctly place the Earth and our solar system within the Milky Way and state correctly that the massive cluster of stars is far more distant than the planets. The understanding of astronomical movements led the Dogon to investigate the human anatomy. They discovered the circulation of blood in the body long before it was discovered by the English physician William Harvey in the 17th century. These symbols and the knowledge they hold are the legacy of the mysterious pneumos, the messengers from the dark star. Many cultures claim their knowledge was given them by godlike beings descended from the heavens. But the Dogons insist their